My name is henryst, and I am a Hollow Knight Randomizer expert. I have over 1,000 hours of not just Hollow Knight experience, but specifically rando experience. Today, we're going to be reacting to Skurry's Flower Randomizer, but through the lens of a top player trying to go as fast as possible. So hopefully you can learn a thing or two about rando racing. As a disclaimer, this is not an attack on Skurry or the way that they play rando. Everyone should play however they want. But I will be critiquing the decisions Skurry makes as if they were trying to go as fast as possible. Let's get into it.
Hello.
Hello.
So welcome to another Hollow Knight Randomizer. I have yet another new setting to try out.
Yeah, Skurry always has new settings.
Normally there's the one flower quest that gets you a check, and it usually isn't anything. But what this does is all of the NPCs that you can give flowers, more checks. But it doesn't stop there.
Yeah, I heard about this. So many flower quests.
There's also custom NPCs that all also can have items that will turn on as well. And there's pain at the end, which is Path of Pain.
Yeah, that's insane. So the settings of the randomizer are super important, and there are two important things to note here. One, of course, is Flower Randomizer, adding like 13 or so really long, awful locations to the seed. Now, honestly, from a racing perspective, I don't see that changing that much because like these checks are all insanely slow and like someone optimizing for speed, we don't do slow, we do the fast checks first. So ultimately, I'm not sure it would make much of an impact. We might just leave most of them to the end. But the second settings change that's like really important is the skip logic. In basically every race we do, we have casual logic, meaning like no skips are required. People still do them, but they're just not required. But Skurry does have them required, and we're going to see quickly how that makes a big impact in what Skurry should be checking versus shouldn't be checking.
Okay. So we are playing as Mossy Knight. I have become the Mossy.
Yeah, Mossy Knight's adorable. I love that skin. I usually use the Thunder Knight skin, just personal preference. But anyway, importantly, we're starting here in Queen Station. So the standard route here is to check the Queen Station stag to Dirtmouth and check that stag, and then warp back here and go check the 2 checks in Fog Canyon, and then all of Green Path. And it looks like Skurry basically does that here, so props to Skurry. This is basically perfect. Okay. Oh no, are they? Okay, this is really bad. This is a mistake from Skurry, and this is probably the most important thing you should know about doing randomizers. Skurry just walked by the Hunter's Journal check and forgot to check it. This is called stranding checks, when you leave them alone in an area with nothing else around, and it's really bad because it'll require a whole nother second trip to go to this area just to check that one thing. Now, of course, everyone forgets checks here and there, but like the more often you can like fully clear an area, which Skurry can do here, the better. And it's really easy to fix this problem. All it takes is more use of Rando's map mod. By checking the map during Randomizer, it'll show you where every check in the game is, so you don't have to like remember everything yourself. By quickly scanning the map after you go through an area or while you're going through an area, you can make sure you don't leave anything behind.
Voice to ease all burdens and still all troubled minds.
We love Marissa memes.
We're already bringing up the Marissa lore, huh?
Okay, resting ground stag. Yeah, so this is really good. So this is our first progression item, and in rando, after you play a lot of them, you can kind of start to predict the future at where more progression items will be. I know they're placed like randomly, but there's also some pattern to it. Rando often wants you to explore newly opened areas rather than ones that have been open since the start. Now, it's not all the time, maybe only like 60 or 70%, but it just means that going to resting grounds here is probably a better idea than like finishing every check in Green Path.
Howling
Rates. Howling Rates.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is good. So the first thing I think when we get Howling Rates with a Queen Station start is that we can race skip into Fungal and then do another race skip by Leg Eater to get to Crossroads. And Crossroads has 1 million checks in it. So yeah, the first place I would go now are Resting Grounds, Fungal, and Crossroads. All great plays. Okay, yep, we're getting the journal check. That's good. Oh, you actually don't need to kill the Fool Eater. There's just like a small little optimization. You can pick it up from the right side and then you won't get hit. Okay, now we get the bench and then we get the check.
I do actually have money
for this. They walk by the bench. I hope that they sit on it. That's important.
Well, I'm not going to be able to use that
Elegant
for a
Key
while.
isn't too important. Like we won't,
but I feel like
that won't be useful
here,
for a while. And it's right next to a bench so we can buy it later. Okay, hopefully they, yeah, okay. That's great. So they benched, and it's really important to bench at every bench you can in rando. So during a randomizer, everyone plays with this mod called bench warp, which is actually like required by rando's logic, and it allows you to like instantly warp to any bench you've sat at throughout the whole run at any time. So it's like super powerful, incredibly useful. It basically like eliminates backtracking, and it means that you can like skip or come back to areas you have benches at like really easily. The early game of rando is not just about like getting checks as fast as possible, but it's also about getting like a bunch of benches in different areas for faster traversal later. This is also why it was very smart of Skurry not to like instantly warp out after getting Resting Ground Stag or getting Howling Wraiths to go check the new areas, which, you know, I said are more likely to be useful. It was really important to finish this green path route out to get to a bench so that it can traverse green path much faster later. It's not like super advanced or anything, you know, sitting at benches is good. But yeah, Skurry definitely made the right play here.
Like the key rando was the previous
Key
one.
rando, yeah, they have gotten a lot of keys.
No!
Oh my god.
What?
Yeah, so including the elegant key from right before that recent items display. Yeah, that's 5 keys in a row basically. So kind of crazy. Honestly, most of the keys aren't like super useful in the early game. The only ones that really matter are the simple keys. And Skurry did get 2 of those. And like I said before, Randomizer likes to place items in newly opened areas. So if Randomizer gives you 4 keys early, it is like super likely, maybe even like 90%, that progression is behind something simple key locked. So yeah, with 2 keys, like my first thought is like Egg Shop is on red alert. I would go there pretty quickly, probably. Okay, nice. We're doing the Wraith skip to Queen Station. That I totally agree with this play. It's probably basically necessary.
Oh, this is weird. Whoever said it's easier than Fireball, you were wrong.
Okay, I think Wraith stalls are easier than Fireballs. And the reason is because I'm a keyboard player. So really all I do is I hold up and right, and I just time my spell inputs. And it's not so bad. Although the Fireballs do give you extra distance, you just have to deal with turnarounds. So debatable.
No, not another key.
Okay, Leg Eater having another simple key. Yeah, that's 3 keys. Like, I would beeline for Egg Shop at this point. 3 is like, there's probably just another one in Crossroads, and progression is like super likely to be at Egg Shop.
Egg Shop. It's definitely the earliest I've checked the Egg Shop. It's usually really late.
Egg Shop. Yeah, great. This is good. Yeah, I totally agree with Skurry. Checking this early is a great call. Okay, so it looks like at Egg Shop, all we can obtain right now is that Essence. And so like my first thought again would be like, let's follow the chain to newly open areas. Like, was there something at the seer that's useful? But I think Skurry actually already checked the seer. I don't remember anything there being very useful. So maybe it's like actually like that 10% of the time where rando is unpredictable. I guess so. Okay. Nice. They hit it.
Barely made it.
Yeah, that was good. So that Wraith stall to Salubra is like one of the best skips to learn in rando, though it is like pretty hard. It's great because like you can get the bench, which means you don't have to come back here later. Again, like I said before, 2 trips to areas is not fast. Yeah, but if you want to learn like a skip that's very often used and very useful, the Fireball / Wraith skip to Salubra is one of the important ones. Though I do recommend, if you go for it, there's this nice subpixel setup. By hugging that wall before you do the Wraith skip, it sets up your subpixel to make the jump a lot more consistent. Okay.
Oh!
Crystal Heart, nice. Okay, so my first thought usually when getting Crystal Heart with like the green path start that we had is to go to the Massive Moss Charger area with Crystal Heart. That's actually logical, and you can get 4 of the 5 checks. No, you can get 5 of the 6 checks in that area. But now I'm actually thinking with Wraiths, because like Fireball skips are in logic, you could actually Wraith stall over there. So I think of those 5 obtainable checks, I think 4 of them were already obtainable. So now I'm thinking Crystal Heart might only open up 2 checks. I think it just opens that one behind Massive Moss Charger, the lore tablet, and it opens up Balder Shell. I don't think there's another Crystal Heart locked check on the map. So I would probably check those 2 first. Looks like Scurry's checking more Crossroads here. That's okay. Wow, Cyclone Balder. Yeah, that's not easy. Very impressive.
Grimchild.
Ooh, Grimchild.
I guess I'll take this child from you.
Yeah, Grimchild could be huge. So Grimchild opens up one check in Dirtmouth that is logical. It opens up one fragile charm because Skurry has fragile to greed, so we can check that, but I don't think it's logical. I don't think we have enough money for it. And then also Egg Shop, I believe, had fragile heart. I know it's like 1,000,000 eggs away, but if we start to get a lot of eggs, that would be like my first thought. And then it also opens up the Grimkin Flame in Green Path, so another thing to prioritize on our list.
Why is there so much screen shake? Is this normal?
Yeah, that's a weird amount of screen shake. Are they going to do the skip? Yeah, they do. Okay, great. Oh, yeah, and they get rewarded for it. That's amazing.
Go!
That's great. Yeah, so here, this skip is a really easy one for anyone to perform in Rando. All you have to do is hug the left wall, and then you get a nice hazard respawn up top to be able to check this lore totem, even without wings or claw. So really nice skip, and impressive that Skurry knows that. Great rando knowledge. Also with Mantis Claw now, I think like a ton of the map just got opened up. Now we can check Cliffs and Deep Nest, and also because acid skips are turned on, we can check Fog Canyon and Queen's Gardens. So there's a lot to do now.
Oh, hold on. Can I get to Shio already?
Oh, I remember this. No, I don't think you can get to Shio.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. This is the area that's problematic.
Wraith Stall moment.
Yeah, Wraith Stall's not going to cut it.
Cyclone plus Wraith.
Cyclone makes it more interesting for sure, but I doubt Skurry can hit this.
It's not letting me Wraith
I think I remember watching this.
Oh, you can. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a really close attempt. But yeah, so I watched Skurry do this, and I had never seen this skip even tried before. So I decided to give it some attempts on my own, and I put about like 90 minutes into just trying the skip over and over. Eventually, I decided to give myself Spell Twister, so I would have 4 casts of Wraiths. But with 4 casts, I was able to make it. I think I remember asking some friends if they could hit this skip, and using like frame by frame computer inputs, they were able to hit it. But I doubt like humans will ever hit this, if I had to guess. Smart of Skurry to stop trying, but cool that they taught me something new here. By the way, the Fireball version, totally doable, has been known about for a long time.
Let's go.
Dash, nice. Yeah, so Skurry checked Grubfather earlier and saw there was a dash there and remembered to come back and pick it up, which might seem kind of basic, but I've seen a lot of rando players forget what they've previewed. And remembering to come back for a dash here, definitely the right play. Good that Skurry remembered that. Hopefully we will also see them come back for a Lantern at Grubfather and a Wings at Salubra when they have enough grubs and charms.
Whoa.
They have the Nos area.
Are you in the business of receiving pets right now?
This is not good. Yeah, I mean, this is just really bad. This is an awful play from Skurry. The thing is, the room before Nosk is such a long walk up, and then the Nosk fight itself is also really slow, to the point where Nosk, like without Flower Randomizer on, is one of like the 3 slowest checks in the whole game. When I'm thinking about what's worth checking, I'm thinking about 2 things. I'm thinking about checking fast things, and I'm thinking about getting checks that are already on the way to benches, because benches are useful for traversal later. And this is definitely neither of those things. It's one of the slowest checks in the map, and no benches are nearby. So I would leave this to one of the last checks on the map. If I could give you 3 pieces of advice to speed up your randos, I would say 1, get the fast checks first, 2, get the checks on the way to benches first, and 3, always be checking your map to make sure you don't leave items behind. Those are like the most important things to be doing.
Oh, and there's a King Soul here.
King
okay.
Soul.
So once we get Dream Nail, that's another King Soul.
Yeah, so I haven't even talked about it yet, but the goal of Skurry's rando here is true ending. So that's 3 Dreamers, 3 Fragments, and a Dream Nail. So if we get all 7 of those items, we win. And Skurry already has 1 fragment, and now they've previewed a 2nd fragment. Of course, they can't obtain it right now without Dream Nail, but hopefully they remember this is here so they can speedily obtain it after they get Dream Nail.
Hidden Station. Oh my god. That's city access.
City access.
That is the first city access we've had the whole rando.
Yeah, so Skurry's talking here about city access, or we usually call it right side access, because getting to the right side of the map where City of Tears, Kingdom's Edge, and Ancient Basin is not always easy. Sometimes you start there, then it's really easy. But otherwise you need one of the Hidden Station Stag, City Storeroom Stag, King Station Stag, elevator pass, tram pass, or city crest. You need one of those 6 items. And even though that's a lot of items, sometimes it's still pretty frustrating to get any of them. Rando can keep all of them from you for a long time if it wants to. So good find.
All right, Wraith's tunnel skip. This is definitely doable.
Wraith's tunnel skip.
Easy, let's go.
That was smooth. Okay, yeah, so most players don't go for this. This is the fastest way to get to this Isma's tier section. However, most rando players take this safe left spike tunnel because it's just only a little bit slower and it's like way safer. But yeah, technically Skurry, if they hit it first try, this is optimal. So well played.
All right, it's finally time for Flower Rando. Let's go,
Flower
chat.
Rando. Here
Let's
we
go.
are.
Wait, it tells you what it is. It tells you what they are.
Right,
I
there's
should've hit
previews
this,
for every
because otherwise, if there's nothing
reward.
here, I'm not even gonna do any of them. Yeah, I don't want to look at these, and you don't get to either.
They're not
going
going to look at them, okay? Obviously, in a racing format, like 1, we would never turn this on. And 2, if we did, we would definitely allow for previews. I mean, these checks are awful to obtain. Like, definitely fun to watch, but awful to obtain. But also in a racing format, like I said earlier, like these checks are super slow. Taking the flower all the way to like Motto and Oro and Shio and Path of Pain, like those are ridiculous things and they're unbelievably slow. So there will basically always be better alternatives. It's just like not worth it this far into the rando unless you specifically like have elevator pass and want to check Marissa or Emilicia, the only fast ones.
I have a flower for you.
Nice, flower to Elder
Give
Bug.
the delicate flower, yes. And this is how I get heavy blow.
Heavy blow, yeah. This is part of the reason we don't do flower quests. I mean, it's just super slow, and if you get a bad reward, it's just terrible. However, we do give flower to Elderbug pretty frequently in rando because it's a bingo goal that can sometimes appear on the bingo board.
Easy quest. That's 2 quests without getting hit.
Nice, okay. Flower to
present me. I
Motto.
feel
Again,
honored by that.
too
Thank you.
slow, not worth it,
Sure,
but let's see what they
would really
get.
appreciate its beauty more than I ever could. 200 essence.
Yeah, just not a good enough reward. These checks are too slow.
Let's get wings, finally.
Nice, great. Yeah, so Skurry did remember wings at Salubra. I did expect them to remember that because they're pretty smart. But again, forgetting your previews in rando could be a real problem, so do not forget the important items you've previewed.
It's wing time. Look, it's not even infected yet.
Yeah, Crossroads
Wait, does
doesn't
it get infected at all? Or is it just next room?
No,
No,
won't.
it's not infected. Wings does not infect it.
Yeah, wings. So what happens is the wings cutscene is the thing that infects it in vanilla. And because in rando you skip the cutscene, you just like pick up the item. You actually can't infect Crossroads with just wings. The only way to infect Crossroads is with Dreamers in rando.
Oh,
Great. King Soul.
King Soul 2.
Yeah, so that's 2 out of 3 fragments. And with the one that's previewed, we now know where half of true ending is. Just need to find all 3 Dreamers. Lurian and
Finally,
Sanctum.
we get one.
Yeah, so
dreamer.
Sanctum is a
Let's go,
really dense
Lurian.
area full of a lot of items. So coming here early is often a great play. Having Claw and Dive allows you to get all the checks but one, which is the slow one anyway, Boss S and Soul Tyrant. So very smart of Skurry to come here early. By the way, I actually played this seed myself to compare my time with what Skurry will get. And I would say the biggest routing mistake I made was I left Sanctum off for way too long. Probably about like an hour longer than I should have. So I gotta take some notes from Skurry here. If you're interested in how a top player thinks while doing a rando, I left the link to my playthrough in the description.
Hera's here, okay.
Hera, great. So that's 2 Dreamers now. So all we need is Monomon and Dream Nail, and then we're done. It's actually really surprising to go this long without a Dream Nail. Usually, because there are 3 Dream Nails in the world, and any of them will give you Dream Nail. Usually you would get one a lot faster, but sometimes rando is rando, and there's just one really stubborn item.
Wow, you got destroyed.
Oh, are they going to try and do Shape of Un?
Oh yeah, there's nowhere to even like see
Yeah,
that
so Shape
shit.
of Un without Ismas. This is the hardest check to get in the game without Ismas. So you can make that if you Fireball, Dash, and Wings. Then you can get like around that low ceiling by the acid. But Skurry doesn't even have Fireball. And actually, I remember this. I was in chat for this, and I told them that with Sharp Shadow, this skip is actually really easy. You don't need any Fireballs.
You're saying Sharp Shadow though?
Yeah, and they listened. They put on Sharp Shadow.
Oh, that actually
And
just
they
makes
absolutely
it. Holy
smashed
crap. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was really good. Wow.
And now we have 3 Dreamers.
Yeah, 3
Okay,
Dreamers.
Black Egg Dream Nail chat.
Yeah, Black Egg is infamous for sometimes just having exactly what you need, even though it's like so late in the game to have to go to Black Egg. Great, so this means we're just one dream nail away from Go mode. Oh, I should say Go mode is the state in which you have everything you need to finish. So in this case, if Skurry got Dream Nail, they could pick up Void Heart and then they could beat the Radiance. So getting Dream Nail means we're done. This actually puts Skurry in a really interesting position. So as soon as they obtain Dream Nail, they're done. This means any check that's locked behind Dream Nail, they'll never have to get. Because once they get Dream Nail, they can already finish. They don't need to get any of those checks. So I said earlier that if you're stranding checks, like leaving them alone, that's usually a bad idea. But that actually changes here, where like if you go to an area and you only leave behind Dream Nail lock checks, that's fine because you're never going to obtain those. Like for example, if we hadn't checked Dung Defender yet, Dung Defender has 3 rewards, 2 that are not locked behind Dream Nail, and 1 that is. So now, if we hadn't gone to Dung Defender yet, we could go to Dung Defender, beat him up, get the 2 checks, and walk away, since White Defender's boss essence will never be a useful item anyway. So yeah, stranding Dream Nail lock checks is totally fine now.
Yeah, we just recently had Claw in here.
Claw and Black Egg, a
Could
classic.
it be? There's 2 checks, right?
Yeah, 2 checks.
Okay.
Yeah,
It
one
was
from
not
Lore
here.
Tablet World Sense and one from the World Sense item itself. And by the way, Skurry is making the right play here. Coming to Black Egg is always a good idea in this kind of format. We have to beat Radiance no matter what. So we have to come to Black Egg no matter what. So we might as well get the bench here and get the 2 checks right next to it. When you open Black Egg and you're beating Radiance anyway, it's definitely the right call to check it.
I never got that lower. Okay. I've never even went here. Okay, there's a bunch of checks down here, though.
Yeah, not gone to Abyss. Okay, yeah, Abyss is a pretty dense area, so it's good that they're coming here. Probably should have come here a bit earlier, in my opinion.
Oh my god! We got it!
Yeah, Dream Nail.
Finally!
So that's Go mode. Now they can go pick up the Void Heart and Crystal Peak, and they can finish. Hopefully they realize that pretty soon.
Well, I don't want to get Void Heart yet, because I can just hold on to King Soul for longer.
But
I might
Void
as well
Heart's
find
done.
the last... Wait! Oh, and there's a King Soul here. Okay. We have the last dreamer.
Yes.
We're done.
Okay, good. So they realize really quick. Yeah, all they need is to just pick up the Void Heart and they can finish.
Let's go, Void Heart.
Nice.
Except there's one more thing. All right, you'll see who this is for in a bit, chat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so for content, I mean, Scurry's got to give a flower to Marissa. That's classic.
Thank you for this wonderful flower. I will take care of it.
Just a soul refill.
Refill.
Yeah, so obviously I don't need to say out loud that when you're in Go mode, you should beat the game. That's the fastest way to do it.
Mossy Gang, attack!
Nice, and the Mossy Gang finishes up the rando. Well done, Skurry. Congrats, and GG's on the flower rando. Great, so now we're gonna rate Skurry on how well they did speed-wise. First category, check knowledge. I'm gonna give Skurry a B here. Maybe I should give Skurry an A because they clearly know where every check is, which is really, really important. But they also did like walk by checks, like the Hunter's Journal sometimes. And also, they kind of made this harder on themselves by making the settings easier. Because usually Skurry likes to add Geo Rocks randomized, but this time they weren't. And sometimes they would go over to a Geo Rock expecting it to be a randomized location, but forgetting that originally it's a Geo Rock, so it's not going to be randomized. This meant a lot more like slow walking through areas, so it was just a little bit slower than it should have been. Skip knowledge? I think I'm going to give Skurry an A. Skurry might not immediately be thinking about every check that's available with all the new items that they get, but like they hit a bunch of cool skips, like the Spike Tunnel to Isma's, the Wraith skip to Salubra and at Queen Station and at Leg Eater, and the Hazard respawn near Massive Moss Charger is awesome. Of course, not everyone knows every skip. Even I don't know every skip. But if you're trying to invent new skips mid-rando, there's a good chance you know a lot. And Skurry does. General movement. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I'm going to give Skurry a D here. This might surprise you, given that they were the world record holder in the most popular speedrun category in Hollow Knight for a time, but the way they moved through rooms was not very fast, very often taking not optimal paths, often walking in directions that don't matter and have no checks in them, just because like they're not really paying attention. And that's okay. They're spending time standing still sometimes just to talk to chat or read chat or do other things and hang out with the community. But this did mean that their general movement through rooms suffered quite a bit. Now routing. I think I'm going to give Skurry a B here. They did a solid job. They prioritized sitting in benches really well. Basically like never forgetting benches. However, they definitely sometimes do slow checks before fast ones. I get it's flower randomizer, but doing flower quests is insanely slow, and I can't forgive that. And even doing Nosk that early is just kind of ridiculous. Okay, now to give an overall ranking. But before I do, I just want to repeat what I said in the intro. I am judging Skurry from a speed-based perspective, and the way that they play rando is not conducive to speed. They just want to play and have a good time and talk to their community. And I don't want to criticize that way to play at all. That's totally fine. Rando can be fun for anybody. Also, Skurry is the reason that I got into rando. So Skurry, sincerely thank you for your videos. You've helped me find a deep passion of mine, and now I play rando all the time and am obsessed with it. But I have to give a grade, and grading wise, I think I'm going to give them a solid B in honor of the thousands of bees they murdered during low percent TE. If you enjoyed this, you'd love this rando race breakdown between two high-level players. It was a super interesting match, and it was really close, so feel free to click on that there. And subscribe. Thanks for watching.